What's up, you guys? Stacy here, and welcome back to Cheap Pops Wrestling. Thank you so much for joining me here for my SummerSlam predictions. So, before we begin, if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so that I can keep making more awesome wrestling content for you guys. So, I don't know if you guys consider Money in the Bank as a big pay-per-view. So, this is either a Big 4 or a Big 5 pay-per-view. I'm under the banner of Big 5. So yeah, it's a Big 5 pay-per-view, and I'm really excited for one match on this card. I think that the rest of them have kind of cooled down a bit, even though we know we're gonna get really good wrestling. Like, for example, we have Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. There's no way that's not gonna be a good match. So even though we have stuff like that, I do think that in terms of story, there's only one match that I'm really looking forward to. So I am a little upset that we're not seeing Trish versus Becky conclude at SummerSlam. It is one of the biggest matches that all of us were probably looking forward to, but a part of me kind of understands. But this could be a decision by Trish because maybe she wants her final match to be in Canada. So it could just be that, she's looking forward to retiring and she's looking forward to concluding this feud, and she wants to do it on her own terms in her home country. But I do think that it is a bit disappointing that it's not on the SummerSlam card. It's very surprising. That's actually the only logical thing that I could be thinking of. Aside from the fact that maybe they think this card is too stacked, I would have liked to see that match on the SummerSlam card. So I'm going to start off with the SummerSlam Battle Royal presented to you by Slim Jim. So firstly, possibly the best outcome in terms of putting in a sponsor placement, but it feels like it's literally just a way to put as many people on this card as humanly possible. Secondly, I don't even know who's in this match. Thirdly, it's for fun. It's there's no stakes. They could have said that the winner faces Austin Theory or something, but to my knowledge, there's no reason to have this match. So aside from one thing, I have a feeling that this is a match that they've created just to have LA Knight win something at SummerSlam, which I don't actually mind. So I don't think it's a bad idea to have a match just for LA Knight to win, and it's gonna make the crowd really happy. So I don't even know who's in this match, but my pick for the SummerSlam Battle Royal presented to you by Slim Jim is LA Knight. So next we have Logan Paul versus Ricochet. I think I'm actually going to shock some people with this one. I'm picking Logan Paul, and the reason being is because I think that Logan Paul wants to be built up a little bit more. And secondly, I don't think Ricochet loses anything by losing to Logan Paul. He hasn't really been in a very big feud, and it doesn't really feel like he's in any title pictures at the moment. So I think it's okay for him to actually lose this match. And no disrespect to Ricochet, because I think he's an absolutely incredible wrestler. It's just how he's been booked recently. And I also think that it's going to be a really fun opening match because they're going to do some really crazy high-flying spots. So I think that it's going to be a really fun match. I don't think Ricochet loses anything, and I'm going to go with Logan Paul for this one. Okay, next we have Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler in an MMA rules fight. So I think this is going to be a really good match. I genuinely think it's going to be really good. That doesn't really mean that I care too much about it. I was actually thinking put them in the fight pit, but it's cool, don't worry. I have a feeling that Ronda's going to take some time off after this. So I think Shayna Baszler needs to win this match. The only reason I'm actually a little bit excited for this match is because of that video package that they had on Raw. I think that they put such a nice spin on it in the fact that it definitely does feel like Shayna is the babyface in this match now. So I do think that this is a really great opportunity for Shayna to build some momentum, and hopefully we get that Shayna Baszler with the killer instinct back so that we can go on to Shayna versus Rhea, because I think that's going to be absolutely awesome. Yeah, start building Shayna Baszler back up because she's way too good to be doing nothing and tagging with random people. Yeah, I want Shayna Baszler to win this match. Okay, and the last of the non-title matches, one of the triple main events, it's a marketing ploy I don't like, but one of the triple main events, we have Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. To be honest, I am not excited for this match. So I know that it's the rubber match. I know that initially they were thinking of putting some sort of stipulation on this match. People were throwing the idea of the dog collar match around. I didn't want to see it. So personally, I actually like rubber matches being one-on-one, no stipulation, straightforward match. Because you actually get to see how good the wrestling is between the two competitors. I do, however, feel like we could have had some sort of stipulation in this feud because this match feels very boring. And no disrespect to Cody and Brock, it's just it feels very boring because they haven't booked it well. So here's how it went on a week to week basis. You had Cody cut a promo one week saying, I'm going to beat Brock. You had Brock show up on Raw the next week going, okay, Cody, you want to fight, let's fight. And they would brawl. Then Cody would cut another promo. Then they'd have another brawl. Then Cody would cut another promo. That's pretty much how this feud went. So every week you could expect one of the same two things to happen. And I do understand, like, you know, Brock's got a different schedule to everyone else, and you want to have Cody on TV every week. So my big thing about this is that it's Cody freaking Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. And you're telling me the best you can do to get him onto TV is to have him cut a promo on Brock Lesnar, a promo that he's cut at least 3 times before? So that was the big thing for me, is that you have Cody Rhodes. Why did you not let him fight other people? Why did you not let him do something else? And I do understand it could have been a case of maybe his arm really was giving him trouble, but the fact that all you did was have Cody Rhodes cut a promo every single week. I'm tired. Like, I'm genuinely tired, and it makes me a little bit sad because it's Cody Rhodes. In terms of who I think is going to win, my pick is Cody Rhodes. I do actually think that Lesnar's probably going to take some time off after this. We might not see him for a few months. He's going to go on his, as they did put it on TV, annual vacation. So going on that annual vacation, I think give the momentum to Cody. Let him actually use it to either go to SmackDown to fight Roman or to go on to fight Seth. Personally, he should be fighting Roman, but he needs this momentum moving forward because he's lost a lot of steam in this Lesnar feud. Let's start with some title matches, and I'm going to start with Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. This is a match that I didn't really want to see. So over on the Stomp Wrestling channel, Ricardo made some really good points as to why Drew McIntyre should win this title, and some really good arguments as to why Gunther should retain the title. You should head over and watch that video after you finish this one. So personally, I am on the side of Gunther retaining this title. Firstly, it feels like they're both being robbed by being in this feud for the IC title. But secondly, Gunther's done so much to make this feel like a workhorse title again. For a while, it didn't feel like much was happening with the title. But I think that Gunther's done a really good job of making this title feel relevant, making it feel special, and really just elevating the title. So even though he shouldn't necessarily be in the IC title picture, I'm glad that he's made the title feel special again. So I also think that, so part of me also does feel bad for Sheamus. It does feel like he should be in this title picture and he should be going after the IC title, but also they're on different brands, so I understand. I do hope that we get to see Sheamus as a Grand Slam champion soon though. So yeah, my pick for this is Gunther to retain the title. If there was ever a feud that I don't really care about, it's probably Asuka versus Bianca versus Charlotte. I genuinely just don't care about this match, and it's so sad because these are 3 of the best female wrestlers in the world. Not just in WWE, in the freaking world. They're 3 of the best. And it's sad that, like, they haven't taken the time to build up this feud properly. What also really bugged me about this was on SmackDown they had Charlotte and Bianca versus the newly crowned women's tag team champions. So for me, firstly, they've just won these titles. You don't want to squash them now, especially because Chelsea Green's doing so much really good character work that she's starting to get over really well. Personally, I don't think that they should have made that match. If they wanted to do the whole can they coexist because they're fighting for the title thing, they should have actually used local talent, or they should have used Alba and Isla. So for me, Alba and Isla wouldn't have lost anything because they just lost the titles in the unification match and we haven't seen them since then. Secondly, you know it's going to be a really good match, so they would have gotten over by just being really good in a really good 15-minute match. So that, like, for me, it's just, you could have taken this in so many different directions, but instead you sacrifice your tag team champions over and over again. You just keep showing us that these titles do not mean anything to this company, and that's the big thing for me, is that why have the belts if you know they don't mean anything? So that's a topic for another video, but here's my prediction for this match. Whoever wins this match, it's not going to matter because Io Sky is walking out as champion. Done, dusted. Io Sky needs to win this title, whether she cashes in and makes it a fatal 4-way or she just cashes in on the winner. I think Io Sky is walking out of SummerSlam as the champion. I'm so nervous talking about this match because I have so much to say on this matter. Finn Balor vs Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. So Finn Balor and Seth Rollins are actually my two favorite wrestlers, possibly of all time, or at least of my lifetime. Anyway, so WWE actually went through all of their archives and they found the entire feud from before their first SummerSlam match, and they've compiled it all into 1 hour-long video. And if this video has proved anything to anyone, it's that Finn Balor needs to win this match. And I actually really, really, really agree with it. So even though I'm a really big fan of Seth Rollins, Finn Balor needs to win this match. Firstly, Finn's taken a lot of L's from Seth. Like I'm not even lying about that. Firstly, that's happened. Secondly, looking at the way their careers are going, Seth doesn't actually need this title, but Finn really needs it. And I know that there are a ton of people out there that are going to go, but Damian Priest is going to cash in, and you're going to be sad anyway, because Finn's still not going to be champion. So I have plans with Damian Priest, just wait and see. So my pick for this match is Finn Balor will win this title. So for our last match, we have Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. And for the very weird phrasing of tribal chiefdom. I'm not going to say that again. So they're also fighting for the title of tribal chief. So for me, this match is definitely a long time coming. It's definitely a long time coming. It's been 3 years in the making, but I don't know if Jey Uso's been built up enough to be the guy, you know? I don't know, like, he's done some incredible things over the last year. Like, you can't fault him on that. You really can't. But still, does he feel big enough to beat Roman Reigns? That's actually my biggest question. And to be honest, I don't feel it. I don't feel like Jey Uso's ready. I know it's crazy to say because this story has built him up so well. Is it believable that Jey Uso can beat Roman Reigns, become, not only now because of the story, he's not only going to become Undisputed Universal Champion, he's going to become the Tribal Chief as well. Is it believable that Jey Uso can be the Tribal Chief? Is it believable that he can be the biggest champion in the company? Is it believable that he can be the locker room leader? And for me, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know what the locker room is like. I don't know where they're going with the story, but it doesn't feel like he's ready. It genuinely doesn't. So my pick for this match is actually Roman Reigns. I don't currently I don't currently see a situation where Jey beats Roman, just because there's a lot of factors coming into this. I have a feeling that the big story after this is actually going to be Roman versus Solo. And for that to happen, I think Solo needs to help Roman beat Jey. Not because he loves Roman or respects Roman like Roman thinks, but he's going to help Roman beat Jey because he wants to be the person that beats Roman. He wants to be the person that takes the title of tribal chief from Roman Reigns, and that's the reason he helps him. There is also a huge possibility that Jimmy could turn on Jey as well, and for me, I think that's gonna be crazy, but I think that there is a possibility that that could happen. It feels like everything's stacked against Jey, but not so well that he's going to do that underdog thing where he rises above all of it and he wins. I don't actually see Jey Uso winning this match, and it's probably a very, very unpopular opinion, and I'm very sorry for that, but I don't see him winning. Here's another unpopular opinion for you, and if you don't want to hear it, thank you for watching the video, like and subscribe, and have a great SummerSlam. I'll see you next time. But if you do want to stay here and listen to a theory that I've been thinking about for a while now, then watch to the end of this video. I want Damian Priest to cash in Money in the Bank on Roman Reigns, either during this match or after this match. If you think about it, it's actually the perfect time, because he's gonna have a really long, grueling match with Jey Uso. It's the perfect time as well, because then they can move on from the fact that Roman is the champion and just have him as the tribal chief going up against Solo or Jey again or Jimmy. So then it purely is just a story about the family. And with Judgment Day, what's really nice about them is that even though they have one big story together, they also all have their own little stories that they're doing on the side. So, for example, Dominic Mysterio has all the stuff he's doing on NXT. Rhea Ripley has Liv and Raquel that she's dealing with. Damian Priest had Money in the Bank, but he doesn't have that anymore, because now the only story he has is, when will I cash in? So why not cash in and go and do what you need to do on SmackDown? We also have Finn Balor, who, if he wins the World Heavyweight Championship, can go on to fight Drew, can go on to fight Gunther, can go on to fight Seth again. That's your main Raw picture with Rhea Ripley and Liv and Raquel. Then you have Dom on NXT. So they're not really breaking up, they're just doing their own thing, but they're still a group, which is awesome. That is actually, for me, the best case scenario here. Firstly, you give Finn Balor the title reign that he never got to have. Secondly, you have Damian Priest as a top tier champion, which is what you wanted, because otherwise you wouldn't have given him Money in the Bank. Thirdly, you have Rhea running the whole freaking women's division, and you have Dominic Mysterio running NXT, which is great. So for me, that's honestly the best plan in terms of what to do with the Judgment Day moving forward, especially because they're your main storyline after the Bloodline. What do you think of that idea? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Do you think that the Judgment Day should hold all the gold? I mean, that picture will look incredible. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What are your picks for SummerSlam? Are you excited for the show? And if you want to see more awesome wrestling content from me, be sure to like and subscribe. And enjoy SummerSlam. I will see you next time.